All right, guys, we got another list. ESPN has put together their top 10 quarterbacks. We got to ask you guys the question. Is it good? Are they right? Or are they wrong? We'll answer that coming up here in a few seconds. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports. We take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And in this video, we're going to talk about ESPN's top 10 quarterbacks ranked and how wrong they are in a few capacities.
So Jay, how much I enjoy lists.
Yeah, you love lists. I hate them.
A big part of the reason is because a lot of the lists I see are so bad, and that's probably part of the reason why you hate them. But I think lists are interesting. Every list tells a story in a sense. Sometimes it's a bad story that the list tells. So on ESPN, they released I believe this is an annual list of their top 10 quarterbacks. They surveyed more than 50 league executives, coaches, scouts, and players. I don't know what ratio was what, or if they did 50 per category, like per the players, whatever. But they released their top 10 list. So the top 10 list is as such, according to ESPN, with the people that they talked to. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 4, Russell Wilson. Number 5, Josh Allen, or Jaheim, as you call him. Number 6, Matthew Stafford.
I stole that one, yeah.
Yeah, 6, Matthew Stafford. Number 7, Dak Prescott. Number 8, Lamar Jackson. Number 9, Justin Herbert. And number 10, Kyler Murray. So that is the top 10 list, according to ESPN. Now, having said that, do you see any problems with this list or anything that they definitely got right?
Okay, so one problem I do have, and Titans fans, I'm going to defend you. I do think Ryan Tannehill, as of right now, should be moved up. He had 2 back-to-back solid seasons, 2019 and 2020. And he looks like, even at his age, he looks like he's still really, really good. He's just not elite. But I think he's good enough to be in the top 10 ranking. And the one that I would probably pull out right now would be Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's a little too high today. I would probably move Tannehill to 9, just above Kyler Murray, only because of what he's done getting them into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So Tannehill would definitely be one I would switch. Herbert I would drop down, but I love Justin Herbert. I think that he's big, strong. I like somebody said, one of the quotes in here says, big as hell, looks like Megatron. A Pro Bowl running back said that of the 6'6", 237-pound passer. He's going to be a factor for a long time. That's exactly what I feel like. I feel like Justin Herbert is what I wished Josh Allen was when he came into the league. Mm-hmm. Big, strong, but knows how to make the proper decisions. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen feels like he's a little high too. I think Josh Allen may need to be dropped down. But I'm kidding. I like Josh Allen.
You don't want Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia will be all over my, which they will be because I made the joke. But no, I like Josh Allen here at 5. As well. I think that they got it right from 1 through 5. As much as I love Russell Wilson, I might switch him and Josh Allen. And I only would switch him because when you let Russ cook too much, he overcooks everything. And that's usually the bad things that happen. That's why the team doesn't perform. He's got elite receivers. His line is always questionable, but he has elite receivers, and he has a tendency of holding the ball too long, just like Josh Allen, which is the one problem I've always had with him is Josh Allen, and they made the comment in here, which I thought was spot on with him. He's super competitive. He always wants to make the play, which means he holds the ball for too long, and he does stupid stuff that always turns into bad things for his team. Mm-hmm. I would probably have him. I probably would switch him. I probably make him 4 over Russell Wilson. Move Russell Wilson to 5 until I can see Russell Wilson not overcook everything. Mm-hmm. What you have initially?
Got some huge problems with this list.
Oh man,
huge problems with this list.
Oh man.
Starting with number 1, Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback in the NFL. Why isn't Tom Brady number 1 when he beat both Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs this past season? Now, you could say, well, because he's never had anywhere near the arm talent as both of those quarterbacks, which is true, but arm talent does not a number one quarterback make. That is not always the case. And obviously, I know how great Patrick Mahomes is and how great Aaron Rodgers is, but only of those three, of the top three, only one has truly mastered the position of quarterback. Yes, in virtue of the fact that he's 63 years old and he's still playing and he's seen it all and he's done it all. But I don't see how you could put, with especially the season that he had, he didn't have a whack season after the age of 43. He still had over 4,000 passing yards and what was it, over 30 or over 40 touchdown passes last season. So I don't see how, in virtue of that, you put Tom Brady third to those two when he has beaten them and routinely beats Aaron Rodgers, it seems, who cannot figure out a way past him.
He really can't find a way past him.
So I think Tom Brady should have been number one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do.
I can't put Tom at number one only because twofold. One, I feel like Tom Brady plays better when he feels like he's been slighted, and I need Tom Brady to be slighted so that we can get a back-to-back Super Bowl. I would feel great.
He'll find it somewhere. MJ always found it. He'll find it.
Yeah, to get that slight. And also, Tom Brady's becoming so much more likable nowadays. Too, over the last few years, he's doing very well with social media. He does that really well, and he's more fun. So I need him to feel slighted and feel upset.
He's already found it, Jay. You saw the episode. You're sticking with that mother,
which is still
there
hilarious.
It is.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Actually, no. This list is his slight.
Now there you go.
He's looking at it the same way I do. Like, what?
That's my point. He's three. If you put him number one, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Then he's 43-year-old, just settled. Mm-hmm. I needed him to feel slighted, and this is the perfect way of him being slighted, being number three, especially behind Aaron Rodgers, which. Yeah. I like Patrick Mahomes at number one.
Fair enough.
But Aaron Rodgers the way that he plays, he probably should be number one.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't picked up a football since that game. You know Aaron Rodgers has not touched a football since that game.
Does he have to?
And I'm supposed to believe, yes.
Did you think he picked up a football the year before?
When what?
When he won the MVP?
Yeah, I mean, he was in a much different space than he is now.
I don't think so.
But right, because he was slighted, right? He was slighted that season, primarily because Matt LaFleur took the ball out of his hands, in a sense.
Last year, he was rated number 3.
He had something to prove.
Last year, Tom Brady was rated number 7.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, of course, goes from 1 to 1.
1 to 1.
Because there's no reason why you would. Well, the thing about it is that all the numbers that Mahomes has put up and the way he's played,
unbelievable.
There's no reason for you to think that anybody else is actually better than him. I mean, you have him as your quarterback. You're a Super Bowl contender, period. Mm-hmm. Period. Any team. You throw him on Detroit right now, they're Super Bowl contenders.
But you could say the same thing about Tom Brady.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't think so. You're saying any team, Patrick Mahomes could lead more teams to the Super Bowl than Tom Brady.
Right now, yes.
I mean, you might have an argument with that. That would be an interesting debate. I'm not sure that that's true, but I just don't see after, and I know there were other factors to this, but I mean, he beat the guy. So it's like if you take someone who, because Chris, our barber, is like this. If you take somebody who sees things strictly through the prism of winning, he could never accept this because he said he just beat both of them. I guarantee you that's what he would say.
Exactly. And I get that. I get that argument. I can't even go against it because he did. He won
your team,
a Super Bowl, which I'm really happy about.
You're
but I think it's more I put it like this. The team was perfectly constructed for Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. They had already had elite receivers. They already had elite tight ends, really good tight ends.
Yeah.
They didn't have a running game, which was the biggest struggle, and the offensive line needed some work, in which they drafted and got a better offensive line. They added pieces to the offensive line, but the defense was already ridiculously good, and they just added more components to that defense to make that defense so much better. Then they brought in Tom Brady and slipped it in there. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about it when it comes to Tom. No shade to Tom, but his Super Bowl teams in New England had great defenses.
Generally, yeah.
They basically, the defense helped the offense and the offense helped the defense. Now, against the Packers, Tom didn't help his defense throwing them 3 interceptions. And I'm going to keep bringing that up. I'm bringing it up every time.
That's totally
he threw
true.
it on 3 straight up possessions.
Totally true.
That, to me, was disturbing. That bothered me.
Right.
That bothered me. And the only reason why it worked for him was that defense was able to keep Aaron Rodgers from capitalizing, which I don't think it was all Aaron. I think it was more LaFleur's play calling.
Probably.
But
either way,
they were able to save the day.
But either way, because how many points did he even get out of those 3 turnovers? What, like 3?
That's what I'm saying. The defense stopped.
But still, if
you can't put your
say
compromising positions like that.
But Aaron Rodgers can't get away with that. If people are saying you may be the greatest quarterback who has ever played talent wise, then you can't get spotted 3 turnovers in a playoff game in the second half on your own home field and do absolutely nothing with it.
I agree. No, you're not wrong in that.
Here's another thing. To me, here's a bigger problem. Bigger problem is Matthew Stafford. Why is he on this list? Which Matthew Stafford are we talking about? Are we talking about Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford, which is all he's ever been? Or are we talking about what is going to be LA Rams Matthew Stafford, who we expect to have over 4,500 passing yards with Sean McVay, at least 35 passing touchdowns? Is that how we're viewing him? Because when I look at this list, I don't think there's any GM who would take or say that he is better than Dak, Lamar, Herbert, maybe Murray, but at least not those 3. So if he is on this list, he is way too high. He should be 10. He should be maybe number 9. And if you left K1 right where he is. So I don't like Matthew Stafford being on this list, period. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, still has a really good arm, and I think he's going to do really good things, unfortunately, in the division with my 49ers as a member of the Rams. But I do not put him against the first 3 behind him. I want to know which Matthew Stafford they were looking at and talking about.
Well, everybody's always been high on Matthew Stafford, and everybody's excuse for Matthew Stafford is that he plays in Detroit.
Okay.
So I believe that's what it is. And they think that if you put him with Sean McVay, he's going to do just magical things, because at that point, Sean McVay doesn't actually have to be the quarterback. He can actually just be the head coach and offensive coordinator, and let his quarterback actually play quarterback. I do think that in listening to you, I do believe that Matt Stafford's a little high. He probably should be down to 10, or he should be actually 11 and let Tannehill take the spot and move
Perfectly
up.
Fine with that. Yes.
The Dak they bumped Dak up 2 spots, especially he's coming off of an injury where we're curious to what he's going to look like off of it's an ankle injury for a quarterback that doesn't always scramble. That's more of a pocket passer. I don't know how he's going to be able to react as far as throwing the ball and pushing off of that leg when it's going down the field. I don't know. I like where Dak's at. I think Lamar may be dropped. I think he could probably be dropped down from 8 to about 9, only because his offense they haven't put anything around him nor put together a system where Lamar can just throw the ball like he needs to. They have always focused on being a power run offense and let Lamar cook. If they got some receivers, so I think they'll be able to let Brown, Hollywood be able to really be the burner, and then we'll see what the rest of the receiver corp can give him.
What do you think about this? Let's say, okay, much of this in terms of where they place on this list was based on their performance last season. So let's say that's the case. If that's the case, why isn't Justin Herbert ahead of Lamar Jackson? Or should he be ahead of Lamar Jackson? Because let's say they presented this list and they actually had – I wouldn't put him ahead of Prescott, because Prescott can do a lot of what he does, or he does a lot of what Prescott does, I'll say. So if you move Prescott to the 6, if they had Herbert at 7, Lamar at 8, say K1 at 9, maybe Stafford or Tannehill at 10, I mean, that might have helped the list somewhat, but would you have a problem with that if they moved Herbert ahead of Lamar Jackson?
I would, mainly because we've only seen 1 year of him. And so his rookie year was fantastic. And you know what always happens after the rookie year?
Sophomore slump.
There you go. Teams have film on him now, and they can actually be better prepared. And they're going to recognize one thing about him. He's big as hell, just like Megatron, and he's hard to take down, which means that he probably will make the mistake of trying to make plays that he shouldn't make, a la Josh Allen. If they get him to do that, they may be able to curb him for one season. Long term, Justin Herbert's going to be in this league for years, as long as, knock on wood, he stays healthy. Period. He's going to be a factor for years, especially being big and strong like he is, and being able to scoop like he can. I think Kyler probably is the one. If anybody shouldn't be top 10, I would probably move Kyler and Matt Stafford out.
Now, at the end of that list, they had other quarterbacks who received
honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions. Will you read that list?
Yes. Okay. Before I do that, Justin Herbert's highest rating was 6. So some evaluators did like him. He didn't get no top 5 votes, but a lot of people did.
I'm not way off.
A lot of people did like him up in the 6 to 10 range. So it's not good. So here's the ones that received votes that did not make it up there: Matt Ryan,
I mean, if these people are just pulling out Kyler Murray and putting in who they thought was a better guy, okay, that's what that is. All right.
Derek Carr. Wow, why are you laughing? That's so mean.
I'm sorry. I like Derek Carr, but no, not that much.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, my God.
Ryan Tannehill.
Okay. Go
Joe Burrow.
No. Absolutely not.
Kirk Cousins.
Was this Minnesota's GM who said that? Absolutely. That's the one vote he got was a Minnesota vote.
An NFC executive said this. He's a good player. He's easy to nitpick, but he's productive and great for that system.
Yep, Minnesota GM. Great for that system.
That one, that one, the one that thingy.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
So someone, AFC scout said they could see him getting into that Dak class eventually. He doesn't have all the athletic tools of some of the other quarterbacks, but he's developing into a good passer, in which he's actually getting a little bit more accurate. He's not taking as many risks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, which I thought this was pretty funny, but I guess as we go through this 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, this is the 18th player in the league they consider.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz.
That was Frank Reich who said that. He wanted Carson Wentz to read this list and feel like he should be hired, but feel like there's at least one person out there who does believe in him, and that's Frank Reich. He's the only one who believes in him.
Says a veteran NFL offensive player says that him being in a different environment might help him get back to who he was. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Prince Harry has the ability to get
Carson
back to who
Wentz.
He thought. So looking at that, that's 18. So we've got another, 12, 14 players that got basically axed. That includes Jared Goff.
Yes.
They didn't put Deshaun Watson on there because of everything that's going on in his world. So that top 10 list would include him if he didn't have everything crazy in his background.
If it were Deshaun Watson, he's battling Russell Wilson and Josh Allen for that 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. The numbers he put up, the percentages, the completion percentages he put up.
Passing yards leader.
Yes, with no real help. Like if you really think of this receiver corp, who did he really have?
No run game consistent.
Exactly. So I do believe that he would definitely be in the top 10 if things weren't going on the way that they're going on right now. So trying to think. Jared Goff was, of course, left off. They left off Tua, which makes sense.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo's left off.
Thank you for playing.
Cam Newton was left off, which we don't know what he looks like yet. He's got a full season. He got a full season and off season underneath that Patriots system. I think he'll be a different human being.
Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill.
Yep, Taysom Hill and Jason. Yep, they're both
Sam
out
Darnold.
of there. Darnold's not on there.
Playing.
Thank you. The list outside of your rookies are it's a lot of players that did not.
Daniel Jones will call you in 3 years if you're still around. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It's magic, baby.
We'll see you at the barbecue.
All right.
I
don't think he's even invited to the barbecue.
He is. He's more fun than just about anybody.
That's true. Good point. All right.